the word you in French. Hi, and welcome to 5 Minutes French Grammar Fixes. Bonjour et bienvenue à 5 Minutes French Grammar Fixes. Today, let's have a look at the word you. As is often the case in French, where you have one word in English, you have several in French. So let's have a look. So, one of the first things that you will have learnt in French is that we have two registers, which means that depending on who we talk to, we do not use the same word you. So if you are talking, writing to somebody that you know well, for example, a member of your family, a friend, somebody you have known for a long time or for a reasonable amount of time, or even somebody your own age or roughly, somebody you want to be informal with all these people you use tu. If you're talking or writing to somebody that you're meeting for the first time, you don't know very well, is your senior in years, you use vous. So, for example, somebody in a shop, your teacher, your tax collector, the queen, whoever. You also use vous if you're talking to several people. So when I talk to all my school students, I say vous to the whole class. But when I speak to them individually, I address them with tu. So my students may not be my close friends, but I do know them well. And also, I'm much older than they are, which gives me the privilege of using tu with them. Now, the good news about the word vous, meaning you, is that you never need to think about having to swap it with another word also meaning you, which is not the case if you are being informal and therefore using tu. So, depending where your you word is in your sentence, what its role is in the sentence, it will not necessarily be tu. Tu is always used as subject to the verb, which means that it is usually just before the verb. For example, when you say you have big teeth, you is subject of the verb have, and using tu here. Tu as de grandes dents. And note that you will hear that tu shorten into t. So T apostrophe, the U has disappeared when people are being very colloquial when they speak to each other. So if I'm saying to my sister, oh, you are mad and tu es folle, I could be saying, oh, mais t'es folle. However, when your word you is complement to the verb, which means it usually is just after the verb, it will be translated as te or T apostrophe. The E has disappeared if the next word starts with a vowel. And remember, a vowel is either A, E, I, O, U, and Y in French as well. So for instance, when you say I understand you, in fact what you're saying is you understand, je te comprends. And when I'm saying we are listening to you, in fact what I'm saying in French is we to you are listening, on t'écoute. And you can see here the E of te has disappeared because écoute starts with a vowel. Okay, when you is placed after a preposition, and a preposition is a little word like the ones you've got just here, like under, with, for, before, after, etc. In fact, if you're a little bit unsure about what preposition is, you can see here I've put a video link for you to have a look at. So when your you is placed after a preposition, you need to use toi. So with you becomes avec toi. Now, when you want to emphasize the word you, you also need to use toi. So when you say you are so funny, toi tu es trop drôle, or it is you he chose, or he chose you, c'est toi qui l'as choisi. Finally, when your you word is impersonal, it's a very general sentence, you have to use on, as in you never know, on ne sait jamais. Okay. Final warning, just beware of some expressions too, which you cannot translate word for word. So when you say here you are, you're not going to translate each one of these three words. You're just going to say voilà. And it's the same sort of thing when you say bless you. You just say à tes souhaits, à vos souhaits, etc. To recapitulate, remember that all these different words I've given you for you are for the you which is the informal one. Okay, so if you are talking to somebody you know well, you're a member of family, etc., then you'll need to think about, which you word you need to use. But if you are talking formally, or you're saying to a whole group, then your you is always going to be vous.